Hey, what's up, cats and kittens? And shout out to all my cerebral lights. It's me, the Cerebral Diva, back with another episode of In the Loop. And in today's episode of In the Loop, we're going to talk about something that you'll probably very rarely hear me talk about on my channel, and that is sports and athletics. She, her, me. I am definitely not a sports enthusiast by any stretch of the imagination. However, with that being said, this particular story definitely piqued my interest, and hopefully it'll pique yours as well. And we're going to talk about fallen football star Aaron Hernandez and the fallout resulting from his recent suicide. Now, what I'm going to do really quick, you guys, hold on, give me just 1 second here. I'm going to read to you a couple of excerpts from an article from the New York Daily News. And this article was actually the impetus for me to want to create this video. And as I'm reading this article, I'm probably going to stop at certain points just to touch on things as they come to mind. So if it seems a little spastic, I apologize in advance, but bear with me. I promise you it won't be as confusing as it may seem. All right, so here we go. Let's dive right in. All right. The secret bisexuality of Aaron Hernandez emerged Friday as a possible motive for murder, as the family of the disgraced expatriate star won a court battle to preserve evidence in his prison suicide. All right, so let's stop there for a second. Now, a lot of people are even questioning whether or not it's a suicide. I am not a conspiracy theorist by any stretch of the imagination, but this is one of those cases where I can understand why there would be a cloak of doubt around it being a suicide, being that. Now, I want to say this too. He sort of has a pattern or rhythm of doing something horrific to himself or harming himself right at the same time good things are happening to him. There's sort of a pattern there, because if you think to when he committed the murders that he was arrested for, it was right as he was signing a $40 million contract. When you think to the suicide, it was right as he was acquitted for murder and about to retry a second murder, which possibly would have meant his ultimate release. So while I do understand, another thing I want to touch on is that the prison guard also said that he admitted to skipping the 2 a.m. checks, the safety checks that they're supposed to do. So I don't know, there's definitely some gray area there that would make a person say, I'm not sure if this is what it appears to be. All right, so let's move on from there. All right, here we go. Continuing, the 27-year-old NFLer, the father of a 4-year-old daughter, was a bisexual who penned a suicide note to his prison boyfriend before hanging himself in a Massachusetts jail cell earlier this week. In another jolting revelation, the magazine also reported that Hernandez was locked up because of a murder that may have been motivated by the desire to keep his sexuality a secret. Now that, I believe, without question or pause. Being bisexual and being an NFL star, those two things are incongruent. They do not align in our society. There's no possible way that you can be a man who sleeps with men, and still be considered a man amongst men. I hope that made sense to you guys. There's no possible way you can be a man who sleeps with men and still be considered a man amongst men. I think I'm going to put that on a t-shirt. And that's sad. That's sad, because athletics should be based on physical prowess. It should be based on, what you bring to the field, what you bring to the game. It shouldn't matter who you're sleeping with. But unfortunately, in the society that we live in, people are so concerned with sexual orientation that they can't, that actually sort of supersedes whatever value a person has. If you sleep with someone of the same sex or someone of the same gender, for some reason, it dilutes your value as a human being to many people, which is so tragic. In this case, I think that as a society, we all bear a part in this murder, believe it or not, because we keep allowing this climate to persist of hate, of intolerance, that makes people feel like they can't live and be themselves. Now, I know that times are changing and we're moving forward and people are becoming more open and so on and so forth, but a lot of that is within society. Athletics is not a microcosm for society. Athletics is a whole other entity unto itself, where a homosexuality is tolerated and encouraged to a large degree. So being a man who's attracted to men, having to walk into a locker room, having to listen to sort of the homophobic jokes and banter that I'm sure happening in locker rooms across America, it's probably a very difficult thing, and it's something that you have to think that if he made it to play in the NFL, it's probably something that he heard in the little league, probably something that he heard in high school, probably hate that he heard in college, and not necessarily aimed at him, but he's just surrounded. So even though he's able to blend sort of in stealth mode and hide his sexuality from his teammates, he's definitely being affected psychologically by the hate that he's hearing. And this is the result. The double murders are a result of that. So, having said that, let me continue reading. All right, I'm going to pick up here. It says, Hernandez's sexual ambiguity was known only to his pal Odin Lloyd, who was dating the sister of the football star's fiance, multiple law enforcement sources told Newsweek. The 6'1", 204-pound Hernandez may have murdered Lloyd to ensure that he wouldn't be outed to his bride-to-be, the magazine said. Well, he's definitely out to her now. Hernandez was allegedly involved with a male high school classmate, and he moved a large sum of money into an account for the man before his arrest in the Lloyd killing, according to the report. So it looks like if he's moving money into his account, that it wasn't just a sexual relationship, that there were actually some feelings there. So, wow, it's just sad. All right, so I'm going to continue. It says the suicide note to his jailhouse lover, Salacious, was left alongside an open Bible with missives to his fiancée and their daughter, an open admission of his bisexual orientation just before his death. Lloyd's mother, speaking Friday to reporters, said the suicide delivered a fresh jolt of pain. Lloyd is the person that he killed. A fresh jolt of pain 4 years after her son's killing. She goes on to say, I lost my son, the love of my life, said Ursula Ward. I'll never see him again. All right. Okay, where are we now? Okay, it says Ward's attorney, Doug Sheff, issued what he called a friendly challenge to the NFL Players Union and the Patriots to release money still owed to Hernandez. Ward filed a wrongful death suit against Hernandez for her son's killing. Hernandez had signed a 7-year, $40 million contract with the Patriots shortly before the murder. Okay, so it's before the murder. Sheff asked if the Hernandez estate had any cash after legal bills from 2 murder trials. She said she didn't know the answer. So they're trying to get money out of and he has a 4-year-old daughter, so I'm not sure exactly how that's going to work. I definitely know they're going to be getting some money because this is going to be a book. This is going to be a documentary. This is definitely going to be a movie. So there's plenty of money that's going to come out of this estate. So hopefully there'll be enough for the family of the victims to be compensated and some left for his daughter so that she can have a life of her own at some point. I mean, this is one of those stories where no one wins. No one. I mean, it's just tragic all around. It's tragic in the sense that he couldn't be himself. It's tragic in the sense that the victims in this particular case used his sexuality as a means of leverage. It's tragic that that particular exchange between him and his victims led to him feeling compelled to commit murder versus just simply being himself. I mean, there's just so many different layers to sadness to this particular story that is just, I don't know. I hate that we live in a world where people can't be themselves. I hate that so much. So, in response to the question of whether there was money or not, the attorney said, "Good question. We wonder that ourselves. The estate also includes the late athlete's $1.3 million of property." But, where am I? Okay, the reports about Hernandez's sexuality came as Bristol Superior Court Judge Thomas McGuire granted a request from the former tight end's girlfriend to preserve certain evidence linked to his death. So it's the girlfriend who wants to preserve this information. Although the hanging was officially ruled a suicide, the family hopes to conduct an independent probe of the circumstances around the death, which is really interesting because at this point, the family of the victims, they're suing the Hernandez estate. However, I wonder if the Hernandez estate can sue the prison officials or the state for not providing adequate supervision, which ultimately led to Aaron's death. Let's see. Okay, so I'm going to continue, guys. Okay, it says Judge McGuire approved the preservation of video recordings of Hernandez's prison cell. Oh my gosh, why would they do that? So I guess, well, yeah. This is probably obviously how they knew that he was bisexual. So they've been watching the video, the goings on within that cell between Hernandez and apparently his present lover. So it says McGuire approved the preservation of video recordings of Hernandez's prison cell prior to his death, recordings of phone calls from the 30 days before the suicide, and all his writings, including 3 notes he left behind. Hernandez was serving a life sentence at the Salza Bernowski Correctional Facility in Shirley, Massachusetts for Lloyd's murder. Let's see what else. He was found dead at 3 a.m. Wednesday, and one of the correction officers admitted he skipped the 2 a.m. cell check that night. The unidentified officer was likely to catch a 30-day suspension. The Hernandez suicide came hours before the Patriots visited the White House to celebrate the latest Super Bowl win. It also came just 5 days after Hernandez beat a rap in a double homicide prosecution. So there you have it, you guys. It's a lot going on in that particular story. I really think that the lesson, that the takeaway from this particular tragedy is, if you are bisexual, if you are gay, live your truth. Be yourself. The only way that things change is if people stop hiding. Stop hiding. Sometimes you have to make people uncomfortable. You have to make people uncomfortable because you can't go through life living your life being uncomfortable for the sake of other people. When people start to live openly, when people start to live out loud, when people start to realize that each of us is only given one opportunity to do this, one chance. You get one chance to get it right. Don't squander your one chance trying to live your life for people who don't give a fuck about you. And if that means not playing in the NFL, if that means not signing a $40 million contract, then other opportunities will come. But do you really ever want to be in some place where you're not welcomed? I don't care if they were giving away $10 million lottery tickets at Klan rallies. As a black woman, that's $10 million that I don't want. I don't want it. You can have that. And so if you are a person who's great at athletics and there's a team who doesn't want you because of who you choose to sleep with, if teammates disrespect you for who you sleep with, and you're unable to push through that, because I understand that there are some people who don't want that fight on a daily basis, then don't do it. Don't do it. You always have a choice. Choose happiness. Choose peace. Don't ever let money be a motivating factor for you to choose something that you know goes against your tenets, your basic principles as a human being. And I really hope that a lot of people take away that particular message from this story, is just to live out loud, to be yourself, to live life on your own terms and conditions, and don't let other people stop you from being happy. So that's about it, you guys. I'm gonna step off my soapbox right now. As always, in closing, remember to live better, love harder, and think smarter. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Dislike if you don't like. I don't mind that either. What else? Remember to follow me across all social media platforms: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat. I'm Cerebral Diva on all platforms. If you can spell, you can find me. There's no underscores, no, none of that crazy stuff. Just Cerebral Diva flat out. All right, you guys. So with that being said, I'm going to get out of here. You guys have a fantastic day. If I get a chance, I'll definitely come back and talk to you some more. If not, I'll probably see you guys tomorrow. Have a great day. Bye.